Welcome back to another Hockey Nation video with hockey coach Frenchie and the co-host Marco Larbe. Today we're talking a breakdown of the one specific team, and we're talking about the Vancouver Canucks. The Canucks have an amazing, great year last year.
Coach, it's hard to think of another team that things went so right for in last season. Name it, and everything was going right for the Vancouver Canucks. Shooting percentage, crazy high. Goaltending save percentage, saved above all the metrics, crazy high. Not a lot of injuries. Everything went so well for Vancouver. They, in my view, I think they outperformed most what people thought last year. So the big question is, can they do it again? We know that they have a lot of great players in Vancouver, but there's some questions there too, right? Lots of money spent on certain roles on the team, and very interesting. I can't wait for us to dive in. They've had an interesting offseason. So as usual, we're going to do a pretty decent overview of and preview of kind of what we think upcoming for the Vancouver Canucks in the 24-25 season.
Yeah, absolutely, Marco. So let's see what they look like. First of all, you can see the progression at 2021, 2022 with 92 points. They drop at 83 points, but last year, 109 points. You just nailed it, Marco, the way you explained to us. Everything was perfectly on the line for them, but they lost a couple of players. Mikheyev is out, Lafreniere, Cole, Zadorov, and Langholm. Two players they got at the trade deadline last year, but they bring Jake DeBrusk and Heinen for the Boston Bruins. They got for Detroit Red Wings a couple of days ago. They signed the UFA Daniel Sprong, and then they got the Edmonton Oilers Desharnais. The big defenseman is now with the Vancouver Canucks for the upcoming season. And then if you look about the NHL Draft 24, a couple of weeks ago also, they don't have any pick at the first round and the second round, but they still have a great core on the forward. Marco, talk about J.D. Miller. What a great year with 103 points. Following by Pedersen, 89 points with 34 goals for Pedersen, signing a new contract, I believe, for 8 years during the year. I think Bozer, he was straight about 10 times in the last 10 months before he got that 73 point and 40 goals. This is his highest number of the goal on one specific player season. Gala scored 20 goals and 47 points, and then 24 goals for Arlander after he struggled the year before that with 36 points. But still have a great quantifier of the defenseman. We talk about Quinn Hughes, 92 points for Quinn Hughes with 35 assists, followed by Ronek, 48 points with 43 assists. Myers signed a new contract with the team, still with the team with 29 points. Then Soucy only played 40 games, but he played a big role during the playoff. But the reason they did well last year, we have to go with Demko, the goaltender, 2.45 and a save percentage of 9.18. And then they bring this year the rookie Zilov. Zilov played only 9 games on the season, but he played a lot of games on the playoff. A really great run. His save percentage is only 8.81, and then 2.47 for goal against average. One thing we have to remember, he's not there anymore, is Casey DeSmith did a really good job as a backup number 2 during the year. If you look about the prospect, and we talk about Zila, but one of them is really Lekerimaki. One I can wait to see him. Another Pedersen, but this one is a defenseman. They got Ratty on the trade for Bo Horvat for the Islanders. Maybe he would join them, but he'll get a really good defenseman, a Welander from Sweden. I can't wait to see him with the Vancouver Canucks. On the 2025 as a UFA, you're going to get Bozer next year with Sutter, Fulbert, the defenseman, and Johansson, the defenseman also. And then Allender is going to be a RFA. To talk about specific team, the result of them, there was 11 on the power play and 17 on the PK. But a goal, 4 a goal again, Marco, 6 overall pick. This is a great number. That's the reason they got over 100 points on the Pacific Division. Obviously, they don't have no first round pick on the draft 24, and they don't have any first round pick in 2021 and 2020. Put this all together, the pool of the prospect is really low, and that's the reason they maybe at long term they have some kind of problem. You already mentioned, can they repeat, Marco? This is the reason why they can do it again. They lost a couple of key players, Lindholm, Zadorov, two big players they did on the playoff, and then we'll see what they look like. I still believe they're going to have a good year. I give them 99 points, and I make them to stay in the playoff for the upcoming 2025. So I'll give you another review. But now it's your turn, Marco, to give you a little bit more information about the Vancouver Canucks and your projection for the upcoming year.
As usual, coach, great overview, like very in-depth overview here. Great card with all the information. Very well done. It's hard to disagree, like you see, you see Lindholm and Zadorov leave, but those were pretty late acquisitions, right? Like you can argue that Lindholm didn't have much of an impact for them when he did join either. It didn't really play super well. On theory, like on paper, it looked like the right move to do, because it just gave them that much more depth at center. But I look at the lineup, coach, and to be honest, like I feel that they're even more balanced than they were last year. Because to me, the biggest concern with them, you see here, you said Mikheyev is out. Well, thank God, the guy is where the puck goes to die most times, right? Like you just can't finish a play to save his life. Great speed and great threat. Like he reminds me of like Russ Courtnall back in the day. Like the Chevrolet, kind of that kind of guy. So I like the depth signings. Like DeBrusque, like really serviceable. Not as physical as you think he should be because of how big he is and how like he's not tall, but he's a very thick kid, right? I'd like to see him use his body a bit more, but really performs well in the playoffs. And I really like Heinen as a depth piece as well too. Like I think he had a really good resurgence in Boston. And then we know kind of what Daniel Sprong has been able to do. He's the Rodney Dangerfield of free agents, right? He has no respect. All he does is score 15, 20 goals, but nobody will give him more than $1 million and no term. I like those depth signings. Like you look at the forward lines. I love the fact that their third line pretty much stays intact. Like that Bluger, Joshua, and Garland line, arguably probably the best third line in all of the NHL last year. So you come back with that. Last year they added Lindholm to that, and it kind of moved Bluger down. I don't think that they lose much there. So you still got Pedersen and JT Miller as your first two line centers. So and then who knows? You might get lucky, like you say, you might have a Lekkerimaki that somehow has a really strong camp, and like all of a sudden, like forward wise, like maybe you're even able to move out a player like Hoglander. Maybe you can get a little bit more depth on defense if Lekkerimaki can come up and take that spot from. Listen, I think they have good options. I don't disagree that the depth in terms of prospects and picks is amazing, but again, they're in a win now window as far as I'm concerned. Like you have an all-star goaltender, you've got quality forward. One thing we haven't mentioned, I guess, is Besser did have some health concerns towards the end of the year. So that would be a really big impact for them if he's not able to start the season and be as productive and as impactful as he did last year, right? I like what they did. My only concern really is a little bit on the back end. Like I like Desharnais as a bottom line guy, but again, we'll have to like looking at their back end here. Let me just pull it up again. So you got Hughes playing with Roenick. Great signing by them, I think. Like able to bring back Roenick, who is just a great pairing for with Quinn Hughes. You said, like you said, Carson Soucy, like and Tyler Myers as your second pair. Like I think people will probably learn to like Tyler Myers a bit more. People were very critical of him, but mostly because of the salary cap that he had, right? Like the cap hit that he had. Now that he's going to be making a bit less, he's a little bit more of a value player, but I'm still not sure I love it as a top four D man at his age. Still moves around pretty well, but I'd be a little concerned about injuries on the back end for Vancouver. So to me, that's really the only weak spot is a little bit of depth. And I really like Yolson had a good bounce back, so he can provide them some depth. So listen, lots of positive things. I think the Pacific Division is probably the second strongest division in hockey after the Atlantic Division, in my opinion. Coming up with the Oilers still being really strong, especially. I think they still have a shot to finish in the top three of the Pacific Division. Coach, maybe a little bit more generous to you. I think maybe they get back to around 100 points, so not much different than you. but I think they get into the triple digits again.
Well said. Well done, my friend Marco. You're absolutely right. I agree. Well, I think for me, it would be important to see Demko. This is really the key measure for me. Demko
Yeah.
still have a couple injury year after year. And that would be a really important piece of the puzzle for the upcoming year. I did not like the second half of Peterson. Hopefully, he's going to pick it up more for the upcoming year. That's the one, maybe not a red flag, but a bit concern if you are a Vancouver fans. But again, if you're a Vancouver fans, you see the lineup they have. You get excited for the upcoming year and 2024 and 2025. And finally, Marco, two things I want to bring to you is like I think we did not talk enough about Rick Tocchet. I think Rick Tocchet does a great job behind the bench, and he brings that team to the next level. He's so much a great motivator behind the bench, and he does not have, or maybe now it's all straight, and he don't go behind anybody. He tells them what he's thinking, and I think that will benefit for different players. They have a better year under Rick Tocchet. And finally, one more thing I think we not mention is the salary cap. They are only at $15,000 below. So they are really great situation. Why? You always want to your team be closest you can be at the limit. This year is $88 million. So why? Because if you have a long-term injury reserve, and the gap difference is very close, that full amount of that player on the long term you can use if you need it at some point. So this is a great news for the Vancouver Canucks. Well done by the general manager. And this is a team is going to have fun to watch again. A couple of great elite players. Peterson, Quinn Hughes, of course, is another great 92-point Marco last year. But you Vancouver Canucks fans, I can wait for you guys to have a great year for the upcoming year. And we're going to see what they're going to do for the upcoming year. So until the next time, my friend, don't forget, please, to subscribe, click on the like, and leave us a comment of what you think about the upcoming season of Vancouver Canucks. And of course, you have greatness inside of you. And we wish you an amazing, great, blessed day, everybody.